Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I have two DIYs for you, and these are super easy, so let's jump right in. Separating the canvases, I will only be using one for this project. At first I thought I could use my needle nose pliers to remove the canvas from the frame, but that was proving a challenge, so I decided to use my Exacto knife. First I thought that it would have been super easy to remove the canvas, but as you can see, the frame is very beautiful underneath, but the canvas is very hard to remove. Having removed the canvas, I am loving this frame. Now it's time to stain the wood. I am using this Rust-Oleum wood stain cabinet that I had picked up from Walmart a few years ago. I wasn't liking the color per se, but I decided to use it anyway. I love this wood frame, but it is very porous. I had to apply probably 2 coats of the stain. I had to leave it to dry properly, and then add another coat because the wood was just drinking the stain. But eventually I decided to just leave it with dry properly. So while the frame was being dried properly, I decided to start working on the canvas. So I was trimming the edges because it gave me such a hard time removing it from the frame. So guys, this was my original intent, to add my design to the canvas, and I thought it would have been such an easy task to do that the canvas was painted. So I scrapped that idea and moved on. So now it's time for the frame. I am adding probably 2 coats of this brown paint and allow it to dry properly before I move on. Now, as you can see from the wood, the stain, like I said earlier, the stain, the wood just drank the stain, if you know what I mean. Now, what I should have done to cover those staple holes, but I did not realize that I should have done that before. I am doing it now, but that's okay. I left the frame to dry, and now it's time for the canvas. So I went ahead and printed out the words fall in with fall, and then I cut a heart shape from one of the fall leaves, and then I glued that on. Selected 3 leaves with hues of yellow, green and orange. Be gluing those on. Add glue to the corners of the paper just to keep that on top of the canvas. I am adding some Mod Podge to the frame, and this is just to give it a sheen, so when it dries it looks shiny rather than having that matte color. So the Mod Podge is just to add some sheen to the frame. And don't worry guys, although it seemed like the Mod Podge is going to remain with that white color, when it dries clear. So you can add as much as you want. When it dries, it will dry clear, so you don't need to worry about it looking white. So the frame was dry. I then placed it on top of the canvas so I could make small marks to see where I need to fold it, because I am going to be trimming the edges some more and place it on top. So now you flip the frame over and you place the canvas on top face down and fold the edges, because that is where you are going to be gluing. So you will fold the edges under and then you glue that down with your hot glue. And I would recommend that you give this as much glue as possible just to keep it securely glued on to the frame, because that is what is going to keep it or hold it onto the frame. So give it as much glue as possible, just so that the canvas can be glued on securely on the frame. So there you have it. Fall in love with fall. I just love fall, and these colors are bright and vibrant. I just love it. Now we're gonna move on to our second DIY. This DIY is super easy. I am removing the back and the glass from this Dollar Tree picture frame, and be very careful when handling open glass. So now we're going to paint the frame with white paint. I am going to give the coats of white paint, allow each coat to dry properly, and then I add the other. I'm using a brush because the brush will give it that rustic look when it dries, so I will leave it to dry properly. So after the frame was dried, I am now adding Mod Podge, and like I said earlier, Mod Podge will give it sheen and will also keep the paint intact. Okay, so now we're done. The frame is dry, and now it's time to decorate. These projects are all about repurposing stuff, okay? So I am using stuff that I've had maybe used them for other DIYs, and now I'm just pulling them apart and using them. And I went ahead and removed them and glued them on, and this is the finished product. I am going to make a bow with a piece of jute. I'm also going to be using the chalkboard tag to make a sign, so that is what I'm doing. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. These DIYs were inspired by something I saw on Pinterest, and I just decided to put my own spin to it and give them a try. So there you have it, guys. My fall in love with fall DIYs. Alright, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.